How's it going, everybody? So, a lot of tremendous Bible studies have been hitting at Trey Stokes Daily Bible Studies. Make sure you go to that. Click a playlist and you know, start a playlist from the beginning. Second Thessalonians, but really, I would say start an End Times Bible study. End Times are now up front. It used to be the opposite. So start this Revelation 19 study. You're going to get a lot of New Testament studies. At the end, we go in order. Uh, we cover the entire New Testament. It takes about over 2 years. I only do one column at a time out of my dad's old King James Bible. Or you can start Daniel, the 19th study of Daniel, or then go to Revelation's 19th study. From there, you're gonna get covered. I don't know, man, like first, second, third John, Philippians, Colossians, Titus. Uh, and by the time you finish Revelation, you'll have covered the Roman study, the Hebrew study, um, First Thessalonians, and now we're in Second Thessalonians. So you will learn everything you need to know about the New Testament just by going over the last Daniel and then this current Revelation study. But right now, what we're going to go through now is this new theory or this new date that we're looking at, which is, this is, I think, part two of the playlist. It did come on the back of a Bible study. The Bible study was on the back of the last one. I need to trim that off. Um, but we started really thinking like, now a new moon. Well, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. A solar eclipse is a new moon, whether it's total, partial, whatever. A solar eclipse is a new moon. And Donnie Darko was all about that solar eclipse. And a dark O is a new moon. And we know the big total solar eclipse is coming up on August 12th, which is also the day Sirius the Dog Star rises each year. There's also a total solar eclipse. And it's 13828 days from October 2nd, 1988. And 138 and 828, because 138 times 6 is 828. And that is also known as English gematria, which is 6 times English ordinal. It's also known as Sumerian gematria. So instead of A being 1 and B being 2, it's A is 6 and B is 12. And that's the 828. October 2nd spelled out comes to 138 and 828. Well, it's 13828 days, so it's a fusion of 138 and 828. It's 13828 days from October 2nd, 1988 to August 12th this year, which is the day Sirius Dog Star rises and the day of a total solar eclipse. That covers Back to the Future, where the dog went 88 miles per hour, and it covers Donnie Darko, where Donnie got up on a total solar eclipse on the golf course. So I don't know if that's the day the right eye wound takes place, or 2 days before is when the right eye wound takes place on August 10th, and he rises on the 12th, because the Antichrist receives a spiritual rising, which is nothing more, nothing less than Satan possessing the body. The twin or the clone or the body double takes the right eye wound, and then Satan will possess the body of the actual person. And I think that day would be the abomination of desolation day if the right eye wound takes place here in May or June. But once you get into July, that's kind of tough. But what I did is when I heard from a YouTube channel that Donnie Darko stood for the new moon, a dark O. It's also double entendres into the darkened right eye of the Antichrist. Donald darkened right eye. If Donald Trump was to be that Antichrist, which we believe he is, because he fulfills both Bible prophecies of being here in his own name. A trump is a horn, and a horn is a trump. And Donald John Trump comes to SIX, 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 spelled out in the Hebrew Jewish gematria. So, what I did when a dark O meant new moon, I went to see what the moon was in on October 2nd, 1988. And the moon was in Cancer. And I was like, oh, well, let's look at the new moon in Cancer this year. Well, it's July 14th, which was also a gigantic personal cipher in my life. If you got top 10 personal ciphers in your whole life, which would be like child born, wedding days, divorce days, um, your own birth, um, maybe when you scored a touchdown or so, if you only scored one like I did. But how many really big personal days do you have in your life, right? And I'm just going to tell you that July 14th, 2007 was a gigantic personal cipher in my life, and there was also a new moon in Cancer on that day. And the new moon in the satanic zodiac takes place in the same sign as whatever the sun sign is that time of year. So we know in July or late June or July, because it's the last week, well, basically it's the last 10 days of a month and the first 20 days of a month is the zodiac sign. So like from June 21st or something like that over to like July 22nd or 23rd is the sign of Cancer. So a new moon in that time frame would be the moon in Cancer. And so the new moon here in 2026 in Cancer is July 14th. I pet goat. The goat is the opposite of Cancer. It is Capricorn. Their sign is the sea goat. So, so I'm sitting here thinking, like, when I saw this July 14th new moon in Cancer, which actually hits on the exact anniversary, be the 19th anniversary. Speaking of COVID-19, it'd be the 19th anniversary of that date that is very big in my personal life. So I started looking at that date because it is a new moon, and Darko means new moon. So let's go through different dates that I'm looking at for that date. Where are we at? Up here. So I looked at the gematria of 714, and you get superhuman. You get dollar crash, dollar crash, dollar crash, no more cash, and US dollar collapse. So you get dollar crash, dollar crash. You also get dollar crash, no more cash, and you also get US dollar collapse. Well, we all know markets crash, war is in the eyes of the right eye wound, or the antichrist. It's in the eyes of the antichrist. And so it's all, NIPAC GOAT. So it's all part of this. In other words, it's a direct smash hit. I don't know what else to tell you. 714, the dollar crashing, markets plunge, war is what comes across his eyes. I guess I forgot to say that part. So it also comes to the Rolling Stones. I guess we need to run their first album, don't we? And when you run it, that actually has in the English gematria 714. Usually there's nothing ever in the English or simple gematria. But here, English gematria, Neuralink, Mary Magdalene, Nikola Tesla, excuse me, Nikola Tesla. So it begins, George Floyd, um, Kim Kardashian. So we're going to have to run anybody's name or anything. That King James Bible is a hit. All Seeing Eye is a hit. So you're really going to have to, this is a big deal. And July 14th's value is 1814 in the Jewish Hebrew, and that was the name of Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation. Why did Janet Jackson call her album 814 Rhythm Nation? Well, again, the AI writes most of their songs and tells them, probably designs the album covers, tells them how the what will be on the album cover, what the name will be, excuse me, what the name will be, and so on and so forth. So, wow, right? July 14th comes to 814, Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation. There it is right there, Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation, 1814. September 19th was the date. And when we run September 19th, 1989 to our date, we get 1, 3, 4, 4, 7 on the days. The hours begin with 322, but nothing else really jumps off the page. So we'll leave it at that. 716, the rising day, has the word rhythms. Well, think of Rhythm Nation. Trump and QAnon. I think I looked then at the first Q drop. The first Q drop, if I did I? Well, if I didn't, it's October 28th, 2017 is the first Q drop. And it's 3181 on the event day, which will be 8 years, 8 months, 18 days. Oh, excuse me, that's the rising day. Or 3183 on the rising day. So it'll be 8 years, 8 months, 16 days on the event day. From the event to the rising of Sirius and the total solar eclipse, it's 29 days. So it's almost that perfect 28 days, 6 hours, 42 minutes, 12 seconds. Or is that what Donnie Darko is saying? Because all that adds up to 88, by the way, of course, which is Trump and Simple Gematria. 88 miles per hour, blah, blah, blah. You see how Donnie Darko and Back to the Future are linked so many different ways and how they all link up to this one date. But as Donnie Darko is saying 28 days plus 6 more hours, well, then that would throw you into the 29th day. And 714 to the day Sirius the Dog Star rises and a total solar eclipse, there is that 29 days. Very interesting. Babe Ruth, how many home runs did he end up with? 714. The date, 714. that we're looking at. He hit 3 home runs on his last day that he ever hit a home run. Last time Babe Ruth ever hit a home run, he happened to hit 3 of them. I don't know how fake sports was back then, but I would imagine just as fake as it is now. And did he get served up these home runs? So Babe Ruth's birthday, February 6, 1895, 2714, it's a perfect 48,005. 48005 on the rising day, 48007. 007. We know that 48 is Donald Trump in one of the 4 base ciphers, like we went over many times. I need to get rid of all this stuff. Yeah, and by the way, Babe Ruth did that on May 25th, which is also George Floyd Day. So the 5/25, 1935, that was Babe Ruth's last 714 home run date. You ready? To our 714 date, 33,288. It's got the 33 and the 88. Holy cow. I call that a direct smash hit, especially when 79 begins the hours and 79 is Murder in Simple Gematria. But it's 91 years, 1 month, 19 days. So it's 91119, 91119. So it's 911 and then 119. 119 is Donald in the Jewish Hebrew Gematria, which is the most biblical. Goodness gracious alive. The film 42, did I run that? The film 42 comes to 5,896 days. 589 is Donald Trump in the Jewish Gematria. It's perfect. Direct smash hit. The Devil's Advocate wasn't much, if not mistaken, if you include both dates to it was. Dadgummit, it was. It was direct smash hit. But you run the Devil's Advocate to the rising day, include both dates, which you're allowed to do, and it comes to 10,500. 500 is Antichrist and Simple Gematria. I'm sorry, 500 is Antichristos in Strong's Concordance, which is why he rode the beast around the Daytona 500 twice, both times on 216 as a date. 216 is 6 times 6 times 6 and James Bond's car tag. It is 149 when you drop the zeros, which is Antichrist on the event day. Or if you just drop the 0, it's 10499. So you have the 149, which is Antichrist. So, folks, the Devil's Advocate is a direct smash hit to our date. I'm voting for Dukakis was the first words mentioned in the movie Donnie Darko. So when you run Dukakis to the rising day, it's 33,858. It'll be 33,856 on the event day. 33, enough said. 38 is death in Simple Gematria, and it is murder in reverse reduction. 38 is death and murder. It is a gigantic number for the event. And he has, on the event day, 38 is in the days. On the rising day, of course, it is also, as we're looking at here. Pope Francis is also 338. He is 33812. 812 again is the date that Sirius the Dog Star rises, and a total solar eclipse this year on 812. So he's 33812. on the 714 date. That's gigantic, in my opinion. Francis to the 714 date is also 148 in the hours and 88 in the hours. 148 is Donald J. Trump and Simple Gematria. 88 is Trump and Simple Gematria. So this Francis character, whoa. The newest Pope, Pope Leo, when you run him to the event day, that's not Pope Leo. That's my personal cipher. I never did run the Pope Leo, I guess, huh? Well, shame on me. Maybe I didn't think it was much of much going on there. Okay. So the back quarter, did I run the back quarter? Okay, I need to run the back quarter to our July 14th or July 16th rising date. It's 2355 days. Yeah, not that big a deal. Okay. And let's just get rid of all the rest that we did. Yeah. Personal ciphers I want to leave up. I have two gigantic personal ciphers that end in 500. All right, next. Maggie Gyllenhaal, whose birthday is 11/16, which is the eve of 11/17. So she represents the eve of the 11/17 event. She's the only person to be in both Donnie Darko and The Dark Knight. By the way, can I just say The Dark Knight premiere date was 7/14. The release date was 7/18. Yeah, it was 7/14, New York City premiere date. What were the chances? Well, yeah. So 7/14, Dark and Right Eye. I want you to look at Maggie Gyllenhaal. Maggie Gyllenhaal to the eve, since her birthday is 11/16, or the eve of 11/17. So she represents the eve of the event, or eve. There's two types of eves. There's the good Eve and the bad Eve. The bad Eve is their divine feminine world, and the good Eve represents the church. So Maggie Gyllenhaal, born on 11/16, if you run her to the eve of 7/14, or run her to July 13th, she is a perfect palindrome days old. 17771 days old. Yikes. I would call that a direct smash hit. That is a palindrome. That is the biggest personal cipher I could possibly give you. I can't give you any bigger personal cipher than that right there. Let's just say I went to a person's graduation on 12/10/2021, and to our 7/14 date, it would be 1677 days. And 1677 is the address of where I see this person annually. National Hotel Miami, 1677. And there it is, the address 1677 Collins Avenue, Miami Beach, 33139. And when you multiply that address out, 1677, 33139, one six seven seven times 33139. It's 33139. Yes. All right. When you multiply the entire address out, 1677333139 times me, my number, which my number is 7 times 6 times 1961, which means my number is 82362. It begins with 138 followed by 148. Now think about that. 138 is Donald Trump in simple gematria. Donald J. Trump is 148 in simple gematria. And 367, I can't even get into that. The 8367, well, it's 79, isn't it? The 67 number that went around just represents the 6 going to the 7th king of Mystery Babylon, or us moving to the Antichrist. Goodness gracious alive. Um, wow. Anyway, so that was a direct smash hit because it's 1677 days toward July 14th day, that gigantic personal cipher. That gigantic personal cipher. Um, mm, 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 mm. Hang on just a quick second here. So, Bastille Day is July 14th, or the French. It's their national holiday. It is the storming of Bastille prison, a turning point in the French Revolution. And Bastille Day, so it's just one of their big national holidays. Wow. Yeah, July 14th is Bastille Day. Enron sounds a lot like Iran, doesn't it? Enron. Iran is pronounced Iran. Iran, not Iran. Okay, gotcha. So the Enron scandal didn't really have a date. Yeah, it did. December 2nd, 2001. When I ran that, it does have the 89. 89 is in Donald Trump, Jewish Hebrew Gematria, and in Donald J. Trump, Jewish Hebrew Gematria. It's 589 and 1189. So 89, again, is one of his big numbers. Um, Hang on just a quick second. All right, let's keep rolling. Where was I at? All right. Yeah, we did the Enron. We did that. Can't remember what that was. Just the Enron movie. Yeah, no big deals. All right, so let's get done with that deal. And all right, let's move on. Almost done. Our final prep is here. And the flower full moon from 2023, which was representing the rising of the Antichrist and IPEC goat. As Lily, the solar eclipse, because she's sitting inside a corona, and then she delivered the apple, rolled across the floor, and it blossomed into the lotus or the flower, and it bloomed. And it's the only time a total solar eclipse in April gives us a flower full moon in May. So we know that's the cipher. And there's a lot more to all of that. Like on, again, August 12th, the day Sirius Dog Star rose in 2022, was also a midpoint of 2 total lunar and 2 total solar eclipses. Both. 2 total lunars, 88 days in both directions. 2 total solars, 251 days in both directions. Well, one of them is Lily's, or Lily, a biped goat sitting inside that corona. So when you look at this, the date of the flower full moon in 2023 of Cinco de Mayo, or 5/5/2023, you run it to our rising day of 7/16. It is a perfect 1168. Now, 68 comes to Antichrist in reverse reduction. It comes to Donald J. Trump in reverse reduction. That's why 1968 was 2001: Space Odyssey, RFK, MLK, and the Heidi game on 11/17. Right-eyed early Doc and Raiders playing the Jets. Jets brought down the Twins. Jet killed Donnie Darko. So 1168, it's significant because of the 68, but the 68 is fusing with 116, which is a backwards, upside down 9/11, and what they gave us on the clock and Back to the Future at the Twin Pine, Lone Pine Mall clocks. 38 months, 11 days also. There's your 38, 166 weeks and 6 days. So 666 in the weeks and days. This is a big, big, big deal. This backwards, upside down 9/11 fused with 68 and 1666 weeks and 6 days. The combination of both of those is gigantica. And when that flower blossoms open, that's when Obama's eyes get very, very big. Trump to the 7/14 date. He's 29250. What is very interesting is it's 4,178 weeks and 4 days. So on the rising day, you look at the weeks, 4,178 weeks and 6 days. Well, you run his number, which is 6 times 14 times 1946, which is 163464, is the product of that. When you run him times this year, you get the Bible verse of 11:7. You get your 311. But the 178 has the 86 with it, which puts us back to the 178. Six, or 178 fused with 86. 178 and 6 days. 178 and 6 days. And the break in between has a 0, just like the break in between has the words weeks and. So 178.06, it's right there. Now, that's not anything Mystery Babylon does or can do. That's what the Lord's ordained. Now, that don't mean the events taking place anytime around July 14th or rising on 16th, but that is quite a coincidence. Now, if it does take place, then the Lord gave us that supernatural math, 10,000%. But right now, it's just simple coincidental mathematical anomaly observation. Nothing more, nothing less. The capital, or Washington, D.C., I should say, began on 7/16/1790. 79 is murder. But there's your 7/16 date. When you run it to our 7/16 date, yes, it's a perfect 236 years. But the days are 86/197. Well, the 97th verse is the opening of the seal, Revelation 6:1. And when you include both dates, it's 86/198. The 98th verse is the white horse crowning verse. That's the verse about the Antichrist rising. Well, on the rising day, it is 98 is in the days, 86/198. The 98th verse is Revelation 6:2. Whew. Yeah, there's the Capitol. That's construction started. Oh, I wanted to see the date of just the Capitol, not Washington, D.C. Yeah, there it is. December 19th, 1960. U.S. National Historic Landmark. That's when they broke ground. September 18th, 1793. Construction started. Oh, completed. They don't give a date. So construction started 85037, 85035. Oh, look at the weeks. 121.48. So it's Antichrist is 121 and 148 is Donald J. Trump, both in simple gematria. And you get the 121.48 fused together with the construction beginning of the Capitol to the rising date. Folks, that's a direct smash hit. 288 feet, which is 88 meters. So they're just crushing this whole Antichrist Trump thing, aren't they? Crushing it. The 714 area code, basically it covers Anaheim. Remember the Anaheim Angels? So it's a part of Los Angeles, northern Orange County, small parts of Los Angeles and San Bernardino counties, covering major cities like Anaheim and Santa Ana and Huntington Beach and Fullerton. We know of Cal State Fullerton, don't we? So that I thought that part was interesting. The 716 area code then is Buffalo, New York. So it's Los Angeles to Buffalo, all the way across the United States, is this whole area code thing. All right, what else? What else? Do we have anything else in prep about this date? 7/25/1980. I think I just got rid of what that was. July 25th, 1980. It had the 79 in the days. I just got rid of what that was. I can't remember. I was clicking. I clicked too many, didn't I? Oh yeah, it was Caddyshack. So Caddyshack gives us 7/18 to tomorrow because he's going to be on a golf course or he's going to the Cadillac Golf. 7/18 is the Dark Knight release date. And 6/7, well, it's 1/6/7 fused with 7/18. Caddyshack is a direct smash hit to the event taking place tomorrow on 5/3, and it's got 2, 3, 8, 8 weeks and 2 days. Well, we already told you about the 38 and the 88 direct smash hits, but when we ran it to July 14th, it worked for that time frame too, as it's 1/6/7/90. Well, that's the 6/7 fused with 79, which is Murder in Simple Gematria. 45 years, 11 months, 19 days. You get your 119, which is Donald in the Jewish Hebrew, but it's also will then turn to 121, Antichrist on the rising day. So I would, and it's 551 months and 19 days. So it's 119 in the months days both ways, or 121 in the months days both ways. It's a big deal. Yeah, we like that a lot. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. Love you very much. Ask questions anytime. Whoops, that's what I say at the end of my Bible studies. So here, just go to the playlist, look for part 1. I need to trim back part 1, but look for the 714. What am I calling this playlist? This playlist is called July 14th Event Theories. There's only one video. This will be video 2. Love y'all.